This is the Fuel Moto 107 upgrade kit. I just unpacked my box and I'd like to show you what I found inside. Starting off, we've got a set of cylinders here that are ready to go. They also include a set of pistons, rings, and wrist pins. Also included in the kit is a set of Fuel Moto adjustable QuickTime push rods. And they also include this nice little tool to hold up the push rod tube so it stays out of your way while adjusting. Another thing that Fuel Moto included was a set of wood performance cams. These happen to be the Nightcrawler TW777 cams. Also included in my package were the wood performance directional lifters. Fuel Moto really thought this package out. They also included all the gaskets and O-rings that you need. Here you'll see I've got some gaskets for the top end, got some dowel pins and bearings, assorted O-rings, a little spec sheet with some instructions, head gaskets, rocker box gaskets. Here's our bearings. So all in all, a really well thought out kit. I can't wait to get it put into my bike. Thank you. We'll see you next video. I'm getting ready to build my 107 engine. Some of the things you're going to need to know before you get started, but there's some things that you need to have for your bike besides the 107 kit to make it work. Call Fuel Moto, talk to Jamie. He'll be able to tell you the things specifically what you need. Some of the things that I got on my bike I'd like to mention right now. I have the Fuel Moto air cleaner kit. I have the Fuel Moto header. I have the Fuel Moto 4-inch exhaust. And I also have underneath the seat Fuel Moto Power Commander to handle my fuel injection needs. Now, after you have all these things together, or that at least you know that you need them, I'd like you to take a look at this. This is a Harley Davidson service manual, and it just happens to be for the 2010 touring models, which is what we're working on today. All of the parts that come in the kit, remove and reassemble in the same order and fashion with the same torque specs as what are indicated in the book. So if you have any questions about disassembly, reassembly, torque specs, things like that, most likely you're going to find all of your answers in this book. If you have any questions at any time, feel free to call Fuel Moto. You have excellent customer service. They'll be happy to help you. Now that we've got that taken care of, let's talk about some things that have to come off the bike. First of all, I'm going to have to probably take off these lower fairings, at least on this side. I may just take both of them off just to make things easier for me. I'll be taking off my footboard, my passenger footboard. I'm going to probably remove the saddlebag. The exhaust system is going to come off on this side. I'm going to remove this heat shield, the seat, and the fuel tank. After I have those parts off, I'll have better access to the engine. So I'm going to get started, and we'll see you next time. Taking a few things off the bike now. I took off the front lower fairings. I find that if I take both of those off the bike, it's going to make it a lot easier to get to the engine. Another thing that I've taken off is the air cleaner cover. Taken off the heat shields, the seat, and the saddlebag. Now before I go any further, I want to make sure that I let you know we need to disconnect the battery. It's always a good thing to disconnect the battery before you do any kind of work on the bike so that nothing happens. There's lots of different things that could happen, all of them bad. So disconnecting your battery will really be the best bet at this point in time. Now after I get my battery disconnected, what I'm planning on doing is I'm going to be taking off my fuel tank. I'm going to remove my air cleaner, and that's pretty basic. There's just 3 Allen bolts here, 2 mounting bolts here, and that should just come off. I'm going to also be removing my floorboards and my exhaust on this side. So I'm going to go ahead and get that done, and I'll see you soon. We've got the bike stripped down. It's ready for us to access the engine. You'll notice a lot of the parts are missing that we originally started with. Some of the things we need to take off next are going to be the induction system here. On the other side there's a motor mount. There's also a front engine stabilizer we'll have to remove. I'll take the camera, we'll get a closer look in just a second. Another thing I wanted to mention is that these push rods, if you're not doing heads or if you're not doing a big bore kit, a lot of times you can cut these push rods with a bolt cutter. Now you never want to use something like an abrasive cutoff wheel or a saw because that makes grindings. If the grindings get into your lifters or into your engine, that can cause problems. So we only want to use a bolt cutter on those. Because I'm taking the rocker boxes and the heads off, I won't be cutting my push rods today. Alright, let's get a little closer look on things that we need to remove yet. Obviously the spark plugs and the spark plug wires are going to come off. There's going to be a motor mount, or actually a stabilizer link up front here. We'll go around to the other side of the bike and take a look. And you'll see there's actually 2 bolts there that are going to be holding it. On the rocker boxes there's going to be 6 bolts on top on each one, and on the induction system, kind of hard to get a good look, there's going to be some bolts in there with Allen heads that are a little bit difficult to get at, but we can do it. So that's going to be our next step, taking off rocker boxes, the induction system, and the upper motor mounts, and we'll be back soon. Okay, the front stabilizer needs to come off. So the first thing we're going to do, we'll loosen up this top bolt over here. There's 2 9/16" bolts that hold the front part on. And that's the removal of the front stabilizer. Okay, on the left hand side of the bike there's some things we need to remove. One of them is the horn. It's got wires going to it that need to be disconnected. Sometimes it's just easier to take the horn off so you can get at the clamp that holds the wires and to disconnect the wires. After that we're going to be pulling the top motor mount and also pulling the spark plug wires and the spark plugs on this side. So let's go ahead and get started with the horn. Here's the wires on the back side. I'll unclip this. I'll pull off the 2 tabs. Loosen up the top motor mount bolts. And that's the motor mount. Next I'll be pulling the spark plugs out. Get these so that they're just about ready to come out. And then we'll be starting on our induction system next.